Hello, Crabfu here. This is a review for the Wacom Cintiq Companion. It's a Windows 8 tablet that's made for art. Comes with a stylus, a carrying case for the stylus, a sleeve for the tablet, and a little adjustable stand. I'm not going to go into the specs. I'm just kind of going into what makes this a really good art tool. You can look up the specs if you're wondering about the actual computer itself. So the main thing is that it has 2048 levels of pressure, as compared to most other tablet PCs, and even the Galaxy Note has 1024 levels. This is you can really notice a difference, at least if you have a very light hand. So for me, when I sketch, I do feather light kind of lines like this. So as you can see here, like I'm barely putting any pressure on it. It's just kind of how I work. And then when I want to, I can really get into kind of dark lines like this as well. So on 1024 levels, I end up needing to set up a couple of pencils to kind of cover the range, for a light pencil and a dark pencil kind of thing. On 24/8 levels, no problem with just one pencil. I kind of just use one pencil and kind of stick with it, and that's just kind of how I work. Again, I have a very light hand, so if you have a heavy hand or even just a normal hand, you're probably okay. You probably won't notice a difference or care. So this has touch as well. So as you can see here, I can pinch zoom. This is running Sketchbook Pro version 6.2.3, I think. Earlier version of the Sketchbook doesn't pinch zoom nearly as well, so definitely update to the latest, and you'll be able to pinch zoom really well. So you do have issues with palm rejection, so you can still kind of draw with your palm, as you can see here. If your stylus is too far from the screen, you can kind of start drawing with your fingers. But once it's detecting the stylus, then you can't do it. So it kind of you kind of get used to zooming. You have to get your stylus far away from it, and you can still kind of make mistakes once in a while, but you kind of get used to it pretty quick. You can always just kind of pinch zoom with your other hand, just kind of lift up, the stylus far enough away, then it'll pinch zoom for you. So that just takes a little bit of practice, and I find that this is the best palm rejection kind of tablet that I've used, a tablet PC, and it works remarkably well. So another thing is these buttons are another big thing. So you got a bunch of buttons here that you can program to do whatever you want, any kind of hotkey combinations for whatever program you're using. So you can see here I can undo and redo as a couple of my buttons, and there's a bunch of buttons I've set up here. If these buttons aren't enough for you, you can actually have even more than that, have soft buttons. So this is kind of similar to the art dock. If you're familiar with tablet PCs and the art dock, you can kind of touch different functions for this and be able to do functions. If you kind of run out of the number of keys you need, then you can kind of set up this as well. What else? Let's see. The glass on this is actually really nice. I've used Cintiqs for quite a while now. I had a 12, a 21, I've used a 22, and I'm using a 24 at work now. And this has a bit of a grip to it that the other ones kind of don't. It kind of feels more like pencil and paper, and I'm just using the default plastic nib here, and it's kind of have a little bit of drag to it, which is actually really nice. So I'm going to switch over to Painter here so you can kind of see another program. This is Painter Lite. It's actually a pretty cheap program that's really nice for doing art. As you can see here, it can sense tilt. So if you're sketching, you can kind of do your shading or just kind of rough it out, something like this. And then when you want to, you can actually, instead of just changing the size of your brush, you can actually choose your tight lines by just kind of lifting your pencil or your stylus up a bit, and much like if you have a kind of a very chiseled tip on your pencil. So if I want tight lines, I can kind of do this. If I want big shading, I can just kind of tilt it more. So again, tight lines, yeah, I'll do this. So tight to more of a tilt, so you can kind of see. And of course, it's all pressure sensitive, so you can have light lines are really thin, or light lines are very thick, or obviously very thick and stuff like that. So you have a lot of control without needing to go in and change your brush often. You can kind of get used to it's kind of a bit more like a real pencil and paper kind of thing. I have to say, this take a little while to kind of get used to how to control it. It is a little bit different than actual pencil and paper, but it offers a look that's very much like pencil and paper, and you kind of get used to it after a little while. So let me show you another one. Oops, not that one. This is a sketch that I did of my family, and you can kind of see here, let me zoom in, kind of the pencil line quality is pretty cool. This thing has a gazillion layers, so it's kind of zooming a bit slow, but when you're drawing, it's never slow. It's really only when you're pinch zooming that it could get slow. So if you don't have a gazillion layers like that, let me open up the other one again. You can kind of see that you can kind of pinch zoom like this and rotate as well. It doesn't work nearly as smooth as Sketchbook though, but still, it's pretty cool. Another thing to note is the bezel. This thing has a huge kind of bezel on the sides, which is actually really good. As you're working toward the side here, if you don't have that bezel in a lot of the other tablets and stuff, there's a lot of wasted space because you can't put your palm down. And so I kind of find having this amount, that's a little bit over an inch of it, actually works really well to be able to kind of work all the way to the edge of the screen. So that helps as well. This thing really doesn't have much heat. There's a fan that's going, it kicks in pretty often. It's on right now, but it's not very loud, so I don't, unlike other tablet PCs I've used, this one actually doesn't actually make you sweat. And a lot of it has to do with this stand as well. This stand kind of lifts it off of your lap if you're drawing your lap, and it really helps. So there's some things I don't like about it, and speaking of the stand, that's one of them. So unfortunately, this stand, in one sense, it does everything it's designed to do well, which is it gives you 3 levels of angles to work from, and all 3 levels are great. And you just pop it in, and it's pretty easy. The thing I don't like about it is that it's just pressure fit, so you can kind of take it off pretty easily, and it feels kind of cheap and flimsy. It doesn't lock into place. And I kind of wish that they made it so that you can kind of click onto the front and kind of lock it in or something to kind of put it in the sleeve to carry it around, kind of like a laptop kind of deal. But unfortunately, it doesn't do that. Let's see, another thing I don't like about it, probably one of the biggest things, is this power button here. This power button is not recessed in. It actually sticks out pretty far, so as you're picking up the tablet, you're constantly turning it on and off, and it gets really annoying. I've disabled that button so you can't, as you're touching it, it doesn't turn, it doesn't put it to hibernate or sleep or anything, or turn off. However, when it's off, you can still hit that button to turn the computer on. So as you're carrying it around in the case, I'm always afraid I'm going to bump it by accident and have it turn on and overheat or drain the battery. So I just set the power management to kind of, when it's on battery, to kind of go to sleep within a couple of minutes to prevent that from happening. Let's see, another bad thing about it is the speakers. Speakers are horrible. Don't know why they even put the speaker on this thing. The battery life is not great. It's 4 hours or so. I've been using it quite a bit for work and just for fun, and for drawing and sketching like this. I'm not doing anything super heavy duty. I get about 4 hours average of life, which is, it's kind of okay. It's not great compared to other tablets out there, but this thing is actually a little bit too big to be carrying around like other tablets. So to compare sizes, you can see that this is a fairly large tablet. If you want to compare it to the iPad or the Galaxy Note, as you can see here, that's quite a bit of a size difference there. Even compared to this is a Samsung Active Pro, another Windows 8 tablet PC that you can draw on with a stylus. Again, this is 1024 levels. Even with this in the tablet mode, when I pop that out, this is a lot more manageable to carry around than this big beast here. It's just a little bit too big, so it's not something that you can easily take it to the park and sit there for 6 hours to draw or something like that. For something like that, you know, this is probably better. And you can see my reviews on the iPad with the Creative Stylus, the Wacom Creative Stylus, or the Galaxy Note 10.1, the original Galaxy Note reviews. These are actually really great art tools that are much cheaper than this thing. So speaking of cheap, that's probably the biggest thing here, is at the price. As of early 2014, this thing just came out like late last year, so it's a little bit under $2,000 right now, compared to something like this that's like half of the price. And compared to the Galaxy Note, this thing is it was $500. I'm not sure how much the new Notes are going for now, but it's somewhere around there. And the iPad with the Creative Stylus, kind of the same thing, much cheaper there. So that's it. You know, for me, this is the best art tool out there, mainly because of the 2048 levels and the customizable buttons. It is made for art. It may not be the best kind of general computer because you don't have a keyboard and it's kind of awkward, it's kind of big. But for art, this is really about as good as it gets. Definitely the best I've used so far. So thanks for watching. Please check out my other reviews for the other tablets and art tools, and subscribe if you like. Thanks. Bye.